Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Raul Jimnez from Wolves. I spoke with you about Raul Jimnez on my video that I did yesterday night. After that, I'm going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Sancho. Been talking with you a lot about Sancho on a regular basis. And then going to be giving you some news on Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. Because, there's a great chance that, we could sign Jude Bellingham in the summer. It's also recently suggested that, we're interested in signing his younger brother, Joe Bellingham. So they're the things I'm going to be negotiating with you about on this video. So let's start with the news on Raul Jimnez. So, according to the Portuguese newspaper Record, Wolves have made a decision that they will sell Raul Jimnez at the end of the season. Now, Duncan Castles has also come out, who tends to be very, very close to Manchester United, and he's mentioned that Manchester United are interested in signing Raul Jimnez from Wolves. I think actually, a lot of Manchester United fans are sceptical, that we will sign Raul Jimnez. Now, according to the Manchester Evening News, they have come out and said that Raul Jimnez has got no intentions of joining Manchester United, and he does prefer a move to Liverpool, and then reports are stemming from Spain. Now, George Mendes, like I updated you yesterday, he's been working with Wolves in recent years, working very close to Wolves in recent years. And he's actually working on Wolves getting an adequate replacement for Raul Jimnez. And it's confirmed that Wolves have been in talks about signing Carlos Vinicius from Benfica. So they want Carlos Vinicius as a replacement for Raul Jimnez. I think reportedly Wolves want to get Carlos Vinicius for around £53 million. But Benfica have come out and said they will not sell Carlos Vinicius for less than his £88 million release clause that he has got in his contract with Benfica. Now, don't forget my club Manchester United have recently expressed their interest in Carlos Vinicius. This has been his first season with Benfica. Benfica did pay around £15 million for him from Napoli last summer. He never ever played for Napoli, the player didn't make one senior appearance for them. He also had loan spells with Rio Ave and Monaco. I think he also had a loan spell at Real SC. But yeah, and he is the age of 25, is Carlos Vinicius. And he said, I think early on this week, that we was preparing to put around a £35 million bid in for him. Yeah, but Wolves do want him as a replacement for Raul Jimnez. Now, Raul Jimnez is aware of the speculation, because he's spoken about, the clubs that have obviously, been linked to him. Obviously, my club, Man United, have been in for him. We've also been in for Raul Jimnez before. Also, to Liverpool have obviously, been in for him. It was saying yesterday, that Liverpool, are interested, and Klopp's actually, advised Liverpool to go in for him. I don't think Liverpool will get him, though, because I think, their preference would be Timo Werner over Raul Jimnez. Also, to Arsenal and Chelsea have also expressed their interest. But Raul Jimnez did say, he's happy at Wolves. I think he mentioned this earlier on this month. But he did say if Real Madrid and Barcelona come knocking, then, he may consider leaving Wolves, because he think it'd be hard to turn down and move to either Real Madrid or Barcelona. Now, Manchester United are in search for a striker, of course, because obviously we're looking for an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Of course, Romelu Lukaku left the football club last summer. He went to Inter Milan for £72 million, obviously after, he endured 2 years at Man United. So we do need a striker. Now, I'd definitely take Raul Jimnez at Manchester United, because he's well Premier League proven. His hold-up play is also very, very good. Raul Jimnez, I think he probably would cost maybe in the 40 or the 50 odd £1 million range. Don't forget it did confirm that there's no release clause in Raul Jimenez's contract. So there you go. Wolves did get Raul Jimenez permanently last year. I think they paid, was it around 30 or just over £30 million to get him permanently. So I think Raul Jimenez is actually Wolves' most expensive signing. He did sign, was it a 4.5 year deal when, Wolves got him permanently last summer. So Raul Jimenez has got a contract with Wolves until 2023. I think he's played around 67 games in the Premier League for Wolves and scored around 20 odd goals. But obviously, he was on loan with Wolves for one season and also did very, very well on his loan spell, did the player. Obviously, before he was at Wolves, he was at Benfica, enjoyed a good few years with Benfica. Before he was at Benfica, he was at Atletico Madrid. He enjoyed a few years with them. And before he was at Atletico Madrid, he was in America. He began his career in America. He was in their youth system, was the player. Maybe the concern is his age, because obviously Raul Jimenez is 29 years of age. But if Manchester United were to sign him, how many years, do you think we'd get out of him? I think we could maybe get at least a good 2-3 years out of him, maybe 4 years, because he has still got quite a few years ahead of him as Raul Jimenez. And like I said, I think he goes very, very well alongside Jota and Adam Traore in Wolves' team. And I thought, Wolves enjoyed a very, very good season last season, because don't forget, Wolves finished 7th last season. Reflecting on that, they got qualification for the Europa League, and they did progress to the FA Cup semi-finals for the first time in 21 years. But yeah, there was some reports actually, saying that Raul Jimenez could cost up to £89 million, but I doubt very, very much any team would pay that, because, look at him now, he's 29 years of age. But a lot of United fans think this is fake news, linking Raul Jimenez with a move to Manchester United. And, there's been a lot of strikers on our agenda. There has been a lot of strikers on our agenda. There's definitely no more transfers getting Raul Jimenez than years of Harry Kane. Harry Kane is totally out of the equation. Manchester United are not going to sign Harry Kane from Tottenham. Obviously, there was reports coming out a month or so ago saying, that we're interested in him. It came back in March saying that Harry Kane made an admission saying that he could decide to leave Tottenham if he feels as though the team are not progressing. And he did say he will not stay at Tottenham for the sake of it. Harry Kane's already revealed his ambition, and his ambition is to win silverware. And he's not experienced this so far with Tottenham, and he has been at Tottenham for several years. He's been in their senior squad since 2011 and that. So there's more transfers getting Raul Jimenez than the years of Harry Kane. Some people believe Raul Jimenez is as good as Harry Kane, to be quite honest with you. Some people do believe that. But Tottenham did say, don't forget, a month or so ago now, if they were to sell Harry Kane this summer, they would want a world record fee of £200 million and that. He's a very, very good player, Kane, and he is well Premier League proven, but £200 million is far too much. Plus, Kane's had a few injuries during his time with Tottenham. He had a hamstring injury. Well, he was out with a hamstring injury since January this year, was Harry Kane. I've never really recalled Raul Jimenez really having any injuries, during his time with Wolves and that. So, there you go. Erling Haaland, he's been another strike on our agenda. It's a shame that we didn't get Erling Haaland in January, because, like I said, he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing. Solskjaer worked with him, when he was at Mould, gave him his debut around 3 years ago. Plus, he was a cheap solution. Haaland was available for around £17 million in January. Werner, I'd take Werner at Man United, but I'm very, very sceptical that we're going to get Werner, because, Liverpool, of course, want to get him, and Timo Werner's already revealed that his preference is a move to Liverpool. So there you go. Moussa Dembele, as reports have been coming out this week, they've said, we've reached a total agreement with Lyon for Moussa Dembele. And reportedly, he will cost us around, is it 61 or 62 million pounds. Moussa Dembele is another player I'd take at Man United, because he is an out-and-out number 9, hold-up play good, prolific goal scorer. Obviously, has played in the Premier League before with Fulham. Moussa Dembele began his senior career with Fulham. He scored 19 goals in 64 games for Fulham. Of course, after he left Fulham, he went to Celtic. He enjoyed a few good years with Celtic, scored 52 goals in 94 appearances, and now, of course, he's at Lyon. This has been his second season with Lyon, and at Lyon, he's got 42 goals in 88 games for them. And Lyon, did pay £20 million to him from Celtic last summer, and he's got a contract with Lyon until 2023, so still got quite a few years left on his contract. And, Lyon selling him for 61 or 62 million. They're going to make, a 41, 42 million pound profit on the player. But he did say Moussa Dembele would find it hard to turn down a move to Man United. He'd find it really, really hard. And he did say, he's keen on making a move to Manchester United. Don't forget, Chelsea have also expressed their interest in Moussa Dembele as well. So yeah, but we have also, been in for him in the past. Like I said to you, we are facing a dilemma with Odion Ighalo because we're not too sure yet whether we're going to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer. Me personally, I don't think we're going to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer. I think he'll probably go back to Shanghai Shenhua. Obviously, it will cost us around £20 million to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer, like Shanghai Shenhua confirmed. Now, it did say before that, it'd only cost us £15 million to get him on a permanent transfer, but I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on getting Odion Ighalo a permanent contract at the football club because, let's be honest, Odion Ighalo has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He has got, 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club, and like I said to you, he has been a very, very good cover-up to Marcus Rashford and that as Odion Ighalo. Obviously, Odion Ighalo did say that he wants his loan deal at the football club extended. I don't know if we've entered any negotiations yet with Shanghai Shenhua about it, but Shanghai Shenhua did say that they expect Odion Ighalo to return in time for the start of the new Chinese Super League season. I think that does start in July, by the way. And like I said to you, we paid around £4 million to get Ighalo on loan. That's how much we paid to get him on loan, £4 million. And I think his wage at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 or something like that. So there you go. But whether we're getting permanently, I do not know. So we have to make that decision. So that is the latest news on all of that anyway. Now let's delve into the news on Jadon Sancho. So I was reading reports yesterday, and it does say that Jadon Sancho's transfer decision is now down to Manchester United. Now, like I mentioned to you on one of my videos yesterday, I think it was the second video I did, he says we want to pay 60 or 70 million pounds for Jadon Sancho. But I'm very, very sceptical, that we'll get Sancho for 60 or 70 million pounds. Obviously, Dortmund have come out and said, they do expect transfer fees to fall. Obviously, with the coronavirus pandemic and that. But Dortmund still remain ruthless over their valuation. Dortmund have said, they want at least £100 million for Jadon Sancho. Maybe they could accept £90 million, but I don't think they'll go any lower than that. Now, Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling football club. And they have sold, quite a few of their imperative players in recent years as well. A lot of their players they let go went to the Premier League. Ilkay Gundogan, they let him go. They let Kagawa go. They let Mkhitaryan go. They let Aubameyang go. They let Christian Pulisic go. Don't forget, back in 2017, they let Ousmane Dembele go to Barcelona. They also let Matt Hummels go, didn't they, as well? They also let Matt Hummels go. So Borussia Dortmund have let quite a few of their imperative players go in recent years and that. But don't forget, we've been working on Jadon Sancho's contract for quite some time. And we've also, been in negotiations with his agent, like Fabrizio Romano did confirm. And Fabrizio Romano, I think, is a reliable Italian journalist and that. Obviously, reports were coming out last week saying that, we're planning to sign Jadon Sancho next summer instead of this summer. And it also says that Borussia Dortmund expect Jadon Sancho to stay this summer, because I think Borussia Dortmund do want to keep Jadon Sancho. They want to keep him, yeah. They want to keep Jadon Sancho. But, we will see what happens. But Jadon Sancho has had a long-running transfer saga. The first time we expressed our interest in Jadon Sancho was in 2017. And this, was before he went to Borussia Dortmund. Now, don't forget, Dimitar Berbatov, not too long ago, come out and he gave his verdict on it. And he actually, said that, it would be better, Jadon Sancho would be better off staying at Borussia Dortmund rather than coming to Manchester United at this moment in time. Dimitar Berbatov, of course, is a former Man United player. So that's his, opinion on that. Obviously, reports were saying last week as well that, Jadon Sancho's transfer preference would be back home to London, because obviously, don't forget, Jadon Sancho began his footballing career in London with Watford. He was at Watford for several years, was the player. And don't forget, Chelsea have been in for him. And I think if he wants to go to London, back to London, he'd go to Chelsea. He said yesterday in the mainstream media that Chelsea are planning to offload two of their players to fund the move for Jadon Sancho, and they're hoping to generate 78 million for the two players, they want to get rid of, to help them get Jadon Sancho on the board. Maybe, he could go to Chelsea, reflecting on the trust, that Frank Lampard has got in his youth and that. But like I said, there's still reports saying that, Liverpool are in for him. So there you go. But Borussia Dortmund is the third club in his playing career, because, like I said before, he was at Dortmund, he was at Man City. And the main explanation why he left Manchester City, Jadon Sancho, is because he didn't get any first team opportunities. He was at City for around, I think, 2 years, something like that. And that's one of the main explanations why I want Jadon Sancho, because he's well Premier League proven. Plus, he's got a very, very good friendship with Rashford. Dortmund only paid £8 million in from Man City back in 2017. So Dortmund, selling him, they'll make a huge profit. They're hoping to make around a £92 million profit, because, they have said they want £100 million. We are not willing to smash our transfer record, though, for Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Sancho still got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. I think he has scored around 31 goals in 90 appearances for them, and he's a right winner. And don't forget, Manchester United are in search for a right winner. We are in search for a right winner in that. But yeah, so Dortmund have said, they want at least £100 million for the player, but he is our priority target. By the way, the Bundesliga is starting today. It's returning as the Bundesliga. I think Borussia Dortmund do play Schalke today, by the way. I think, a lot of people, will be, watching that game. So yeah, the Bundesliga is now back, because it did confirm it's going to be starting on the 16th of May, which is today. Obviously, Liga 1 got cancelled quite a few weeks ago, but PSG got given the title. The Eredivisie got cancelled. The Premier League's supposed to be resuming next month. I think it's supposed to be resuming, is it on the 20th of June? Some reports said it could resume on the 12th of June, could the Premier League and that. These 92 games to play in the Premier League in all competitions. Obviously, there's 9 games to play in the Premier League. Not too sure what's happening with the European games. The FA Cup games, I heard there was going to be scrapped. Games I don't think are going to be venued at neutral grounds, because too many clubs are protesting against it. But yeah, I think the season is resuming next month. And of course, games are going to be played behind closed doors for a while and that. So it's very, very good anyway, that football, is coming back. But the Bundesliga is officially back now. So there you go. So anyway, that's the latest news on Jadon Sancho. That's the latest news on him. But actually, Sancho could stay at Borussia Dortmund, not for the foreseeable future, but he could stay there, for next season and that. So yeah. So now let's delve into news on Jude Bellingham. And of course, his brother. So reportedly, we want to sign Jude Bellingham this summer. And we also want to sign his brother, Job Bellingham. Now, Job Bellingham He's only at the age of 15. I think he has represented Birmingham's under-18 squad. But he says, we are keen on signing him. Yep, only the age of 15. So he's like, is he a year younger, or under a year younger, than Jude Bellingham. Now, we're hopeful that we can get Jude Bellingham on the board. Because don't forget, we have made a promise to him. We've said if he does sign for Manchester United this summer, he will immediately become a first-team player. Now, Jude Bellingham is going to cost us around £30 million, maybe £35 million, because this is what Birmingham City do value him at. Now, this has been his first season in the senior squad with Birmingham, and I've got to say Jude Bellingham has been a revelation. I think he's played around 35 games in all competitions this season for Birmingham, so he's been playing persistently. Don't forget he became the youngest player to ever represent Birmingham. Made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. He's expected to sign his professional contract with Birmingham when he does turn 17 years of age. He's nearly 17 now. He's Jude Bellingham. He's 16 years of age at the moment. Now, reportedly, we're not willing to offer Jude Bellingham £60,000 a week like Dortmund. Revert back a couple of months ago, this was stemming from the German press, and it said that, Borussia Dortmund were emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham. I think also too Chelsea have expressed their interest in him. Don't forget, was it back in March, Jude Bellingham had visited our Carrington training ground. Had visited our Carrington training ground. Obviously, he held talks with Sir Alex Ferguson, also to Ed Woodward, had negotiations, with his family over the move to Man United. And, Jude Bellingham had given his verdict on his, tour around Carrington. He did actually, really, really like it, did Jude Bellingham. Does Jude Bellingham need another season in the Championship, to gain more experience in that? Because maybe some people believe he hasn't got the minerals as yet to come and succeed in the Premier League. But there again, some players that come from the Championship to the Premier League tend to do really, really well. Prime example, Daniel James came from the Championship. We got him from Swansea last summer for just 15 million. And look how much of a revelation he's been in the Premier League for us. So there you go. But there again, if he wasn't to leave at the end of the season, Bellingham, and if he was to be given another season, he was to replicate what he's done this season, then, he probably, would cost more than £30 million. So want to get him, I think he'll cost us around 35 million. I think it mentioned that there would be add-ons included, I think, so that'd rise it up to around maybe £50 million. So there you go. But Bellingham is one of our priority targets. So that is the latest news on that. That is the latest news on that. But yeah, we have revealed our plans for the summer transfer market. And, we've already said, that we want to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer. Now, we're hoping that we can get Sancho, Bellingham and Grealish. We're hoping that we can get that trio, but them 3 players are going to cost us around £220 million. A lot of people do like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, because don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players to Manchester United like he did do last summer. And obviously, Bellingham, Sancho and Grealish would all fit, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly. Now, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say that we will enjoy a different transfer window this summer. So we'll enjoy a different transfer window, than the recent transfer windows and that. Obviously, you had Ed Woodward, saying that, we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market. He also did say that, big transfers to Man United, are not going to happen. And he basically said, we will not spend hundreds of millions of pounds this summer. This is what Ed Woodward had said. But he has made a transfer promise to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, obviously, if we get qualification for the Champions League, then obviously we've got a greater chance of getting players to the elite level and stuff like that. Put into the equation as well, we are going to sell players in the summer. We could sell 5, 6, maybe even 7 players in the summer. And we could generate quite a bit of money, for the players that we get rid of in the summer. Solskjaer has got an idea of the players he's going to get rid of in the summer. I think we're going to get rid of Jones, Pereira. Sanchez will probably go back out on loan. Won't be able to get rid of Sanchez permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages. I think we'll get rid of Smalling and Rojo as well on permanent transfers. Possibly Delors could leave. Angel Gomez, I think, is going to be leaving as well. We won't cash in for him because he's going to be leaving on a free at the end of next month. That's when his contract expires, unless he signs a new contract, but I don't see that happening. We've been trying to get Angel Gomez a new contract, but we can't get him a new contract. We've put forward quite a few contract offers, but, he hasn't accepted this. Chelsea confident they can sign him. It mentioned that Arsenal are also in for Angel Gomez, but I think Angel Gomez has got, huge doubts about, getting into the first team. So I think he's going to be leaving Manchester United, he's Gomez. Should we possibly loan Tahith Chong out as well? Because Tahith Chong's appearances have been limited at the football club. Obviously, James Garner seldom played this season, but James Garner should get more opportunities going on into next season. So, yeah. So, we're going to get rid of quite a few players in the summer, we really, really are. But anyway, Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. So, that's one thing, I do credit him for. But there's a few things I credit Solskjaer for. I credit him, for the players that he has recommended in so far. Solskjaer has recommended 5 players into the football club and spent in the excess of £220 million on them. And Solskjaer so far has enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club. And I've got to make an admission, I think we've really, really improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. What I mean is, I think, he's obviously, got the players that he wanted to get in. We've also been a bit more sensible with our recruitment. Obviously, last summer and that, he strengthen up the areas, where we needed to strengthen up. Don't get me wrong, there's still deficiencies in the squad now that need to be strengthened up, because we need to recommend a forward in. We need a right winner. We're also in search for a midfielder. There's still some reports saying that we're in search for a centre-half. So there's still deficiencies in the squad that do need to be addressed in that. But yeah, we have improved in the market under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer without a shadow of a doubt. That's something else that's improved under him. Because, we have been criticised a lot, in recent years for how poor our recruitment policy's been. To be fair, our recruitment policy's been poor for a good 6 or 7 years now. Also, too, we've been criticised for overpaying for players. And, we have overpaid for players in recent years. Prime example, 75 million for Lukaku. He was good, but he wasn't worth 75 mil. 89 million for Pogba, 50 million for Fred, 40 million pounds for Matic, 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire. So we are known for overpaying for players in that. And like I've said to you, we have made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years. It's not the only explanation, but it's one of the main explanations, why we've been, so inconsistent in that. The mistakes we've made, obviously, there's players over the years that we've had who we shouldn't have got rid of, so that's one mistake we made. Obviously, Ferguson, when he retired, he made a mistake by recommending David Moyes, that's another mistake. I think, we made a mistake by, giving Solskjaer the job permanently because, we give him the job a bit too early. But the main explanation why we give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently, was reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. So there you go. We made a mistake last season by giving Phil Jones a new long-term contract. What we should have done is last summer, we should have kept Chris Smalling. Obviously, got rid of Phil Jones instead of Chris Smalling. So that's another mistake we made because I think Chris Smalling is a much better centre-half than Phil Jones and that. So we have made, quite a lot of mistakes. Recommended Jose Mourinho in too late as well. Should have got Mourinho in at an earlier point. But yeah. And Ed Woodward, has said, though, on numerous occasions this season, he's willing to back Solskjaer, and he has assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe, even though we have enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. This is what, he has confirmed. Also, too, I think the Glazers are willing to back Solskjaer as well. But there has been, a lot of doubts about the club's ownership. We've also been criticising Ed Woodward a lot as well, don't forget. But there you go. We've also got to make an admission, Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well, because the young players have been given their opportunities this season, which is very, very good to see. Well, some of the young players have been given their opportunities. Also, too, we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions, because before the football season got suspended, we was in a good vein of form. So these positives to take from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure. Still thinks he needs to work on. He needs to work out his best formation, because he's been changing formation persistently this season. Maybe he also needs to make a tactical change. His approach to the games against lower opposition also needs to improve, because we haven't been so good against lower opposition, let's be honest. But don't get me wrong, we've enjoyed some very, very good games under Solskjaer. But we've also enjoyed a lot of bad games under Solskjaer as well, so let's put that into the equation. But he does deserve more time at the club. He deserves at least another season and a couple of more transfer windows, because obviously in the summer it will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. But it's going to take him time, to rebuild a good Manchester United team and that. You obviously know the news on Paul Pogba. He's staying at Manchester United now, is Paul Pogba, because the Busby Babe article said that he wants to stay at Manchester United. And obviously Solskjaer's excited about the prospect of Paul Pogba playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, because Pogba and Fernandes have not yet had the chance to play together in our midfield. So there you go. So I think Paul Pogba's staying, but I'm not too sure about the foreseeable future. So that's obviously, very, very good news. And also, too, we're going to have a fully fit squad, when the season does resume anyway. That's been confirmed. Rashford's been stepping up his fitness regime from his back injury. Rashford's been out of a back injury since January. And Pogba, of course, has been stepping up his fitness regime, because he was recently training at the Cheshire Cricket Club with Pereira, Martial and Lindelof. So that's obviously, very, very good news. So there you go. But like I said, I don't know if Solskjaer's a foreseeable future for Man United, but give him another season. Obviously, he's been here 17 months at the moment, nearly 17 months. So he's been here over a year now. And like I said, he's our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, we've sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era, and that was Moyes, Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho on that. And like I said to you on my video yesterday, there's players that, we've been in for before, and we came close to getting them, but we didn't get them, so that was also a shame. And yeah, so that's everything to update you today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.